Okay, good to go here. Well, let me start. Credit to Ohio State. That's a good football team, well coached. Thought they played hard, talented, kind of as we expected. I do think in the first half we did not help ourselves with just some self-inflicted, turning the ball over a couple of times. I mean, opening drive would go down. Well, first of all, their opening drive, find a way to get them, hold them to a field goal in the red zone, which would take against that team. Go down there, it's 4th and 1 on our 20 going in. We can't get that done. Fast forward, we turned the ball over twice in our red zone going in again, and that was painful. We got an opportunity to make a stop in the end zone on defense, drop an interception, and then even they scored late to make it 24-7 at the half on a punt that we got to be better on. Field position's pretty good. They go down and separate the thing, and so missed opportunities in the first half. And then third quarter we did not come out and get anything done, turn the thing over, give them a short field, and then kind of separated from there. And so, again, that's a good football team. I did tell our team, I didn't feel like there was a bunch of snaps out there that we were just overwhelmed. Oh, they got too much talent. They're too physical. That's a really good team, one of the best teams in the country, but trying to encourage our guys that we can go toe-to-toe if we can finish on some things and get back to some details on ball security and getting off the field on third down. So appreciate the crowd. I did think, I want to say it again, recognizing Mark Tantonio was special last night. And then even, the class act that he is, bumping into him before I walk over here. What a big-time person, coach, that this place was awesome to recognize him this weekend. Questions?
Jonathan, I know you just kind of went over those missed opportunities, but what's the mood like at halftime when they have a 17-point lead and easily? I mean, it could have been the other way. Tie game. You guys are in head.
Yep. We didn't dwell on that. Obviously, we talked a little bit about we got to tighten up in our ball security. Talked about wanting to win the third quarter. If we could win the third quarter by a point total, whatever that was, it'd be within reach in the fourth, and we didn't get that done.
Two instances in particular. First, the fourth down decision early in the game at the 20. Why go for it there and instead of kick the field goal to tie it? And I'll hold for the second.
Going into the game, felt like, field goals against this team, this offense, was not going to, give us the best chance to win. And honestly, on 4th and 1, I'm going to be overly aggressive. These guys know that, and we need to go get that done.
And the other one, you mentioned the near interception that Malik had. The play before that with Woods at the goal line where he stripped the ball. Did you guys get any look at that to see whether or not to challenge it?
I saw a quick replay on it. In my mind, they're looking at that stuff. And then also in my mind, if they would have called that a fumble, well, that means he would have possessed it. He was right on the goal line. I don't know if they'd turn it into calling it a touchdown. You follow me? And so that's why I did not challenge it.
Coach, this season, 16 points per game in the first half. In the second half of games, 5 points per game. How do you go about fixing that in the future for next week?
Yep, we got to look at whether that's tendencies, adjustments we're making. We got to both those point totals, to be honest with you, is not where we want it to be. And so, again, work process. We got a short week here, and we'll take a look at this film and look at ways we can improve. But we got to be able to score more than that.
Overall, Aiden Giles really bounced back from that BC game. First 6 passes were all on the money. And then that one fumble in the red zone, he looked like he got a face mask, and maybe that contributed to it. So just what did you think of his
I did. I'm with you. I thought he was throwing the ball really well in the first half, seeing it. The protection was there, and we were down a guy or two in the old line. I thought those guys were holding up for him. Guys were making some plays, catching, run after catch. I mean, Velling's route, he's running an option route. He creases inside. That's a perfect throw. He's continuing down. Good by Ohio State. Defender from behind puts it down. But overall, in the first half, we were, pleased with Aiden's play.
And how, good is that to see just the progress to be able to bounce back after a tough outing and go up against one of the nation's best defenses and have that type of start?
He's competitive. That the group's competitive, and he's going to have some ups and downs, just like every player on this team, every coach, and he'd be able to respond back. And I thought he came in with a great mindset tonight.
Do you leave this game more encouraged or discouraged? Like, obviously, you're competitive against them in a lot of ways. Where if this goes different, or do you? And so, do you leave thinking we're not that far away, or?
Well, I think 38-7, we're far away because it is in the details and it is in these turnovers. we're going to continue to work. Credit to those guys. 38-7 is not that close because at the end of the day, it is about the scoreboard. But there will be plenty of snaps that we'll watch of this game that we're right there, and guys are making some plays and playing with awesome effort. I thought defensively, they got some good athletes out there, and we try to go toe-to-toe. And so you're encouraged by that.
Yeah. What is your biggest positive that you take away from this game? And then what did you tell your team in the locker room after the game?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say what's the biggest, positive. I did think the effort was there. The execution wasn't, in that. Biggest positive is if these guys will go back to work, because we've got a short week, and be able to learn from this and continue to move forward. That'll be the biggest positive for me.
Jonathan, 17-7 before the shank punt, and then Jeremiah Smith makes those
One-handed, that's a great catch. by the
incredible
kid.
catches.
Yep.
What do you tell your DBs? It looked like they were in position, and he just...
Yeah, sometimes you want to continue to be in position, and let's face it, this is big-time college football against a big-time team. They're going to make a play or two. You look at some other snaps where we could have, executed better on other plays to not give them the opportunity, one-on-one with some of these guys. They're going to make their fair share of plays.
Jonathan, this is not to be critical, but to be curious. You said it yourself, one of the top programs in the country. You had a week to prepare. You played them tonight. Can you talk about differences and similarities between the two programs?
Well, the difference is they made some plays. They did a pretty good job with taking care of the ball. I know we got the one pick. There's I do think both teams played pretty hard. Even Coach Day talked about it after the game. The effort they're playing, there's similarity there.
Yeah, after 5 weeks, what do you think the potential of this team is if they can get rid of the self-inflicted mistakes?
Yeah, we're going to compete with just about anybody we line up with if we clean that up, and we're going to be in every ball game with a chance to win it if we can clean up some of the turnover piece and get off the field on third down.
And then this week, how important is it for the rest of the season, given the fact that you guys have lost 2 straight, what you got going forward? Yeah,
every week's important. It's going to be a short week, and again, reloading, recovering, getting our mind flipped to another really good opponent, talented opponent.
Coach, you mentioned Jeremiah Smith and the one-handed catches. Obviously, you probably watched him on film leading up to the game as advertised. How do you go at a guy like that?
Yeah, you want to challenge him. Sometimes you want to affect the passer more than just affecting that one-on-one matchup or double teaming. And if you can get the quarterback off the spot, but again, they got weapons in multiple spots schematically. Chip, Ryan, those guys do a good job, and so it's a tough task.
Jonathan, we saw obviously no Stanton today. I was wondering what you thought of the offensive line with moving. You got Rakeem making his first start, and then another true freshman playing behind him. And just what you thought of that combination.
Without totally studying it, I didn't feel like they were getting overwhelmed out there. I thought times that Aiden had some good protection. So that's my initial thinking. I'm not sitting there with the iPad digesting the film. I'll do that tomorrow.
Got time for a couple more, starting with Chris here.
Nick obviously played the one drive. I guess his situation and status.
Marsh?
Yeah, Marsh. Yeah. And I guess it looked like he made some plays, but why not go back to him?
Yeah, his status, he was cleared to play. He did not practice much at all this week, and so we really didn't know. We felt a little bit better, actually, it was yesterday, and then through, pregame. And so when a guy misses that much time, it's a huge ask for him to go out there and run all the reps, especially going off of last week. This week, very minimal reps. And so I think that was the thinking on him.
Steven.
Jonathan, right here. I'm just wondering, as a former play caller, when the run game just hasn't found enough traction yet, how difficult is that as somebody in Brian's position? Are there any fixes or workarounds, I guess?
Yeah, it's hard. I did think we had some good creases tonight. Even in the opening play, I think Nate, creases the thing. Our downhill run game had some stuff. When we try to get outside a few times, getting in the backfield, and it makes it hard as a play caller, but that's our role. Like, we got to figure out ways to do it better. Brian's not alone. That offensive staff been around it. They know what they're doing, and we got to continue to work to get better.
Jim, did you have one?
Just wondering, like they open without obviously a lot of the underneath throws and all that, but the inability to get pressure on Howard and third down, I guess what did you see there?
Yeah, I mean, they got a good front there, and you got to pick and choose here on pressuring the guy, and then you're going to leave yourself with a lot of one-on-one and space on the edges of it. Again, I did feel like we wanted to force them to earn it, put longer drives together and execute 8, 10, 12, and then they did it a few times. We didn't have a bunch of the 60, 70-yard touchdowns that we'd been watching on tape.
So Aiden Childs had a nice first half. Second half, a couple of those middle screens or late leaks or whatever those were. I know he's got pressure on him, but how would you address that?
Interception. He's going to his left, which isn't ideal. He's got a guy up in his face. He's trying to lob it over to him. Again, we're trying to action pass when we're down 3, 4 scores, and so it's tough. I did think he had a few good decisions throwing the thing away throughout the night, but on that one pick, that wasn't a great scenario for him, and maybe chucking that out of bounds instead of trying to hit Jack.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.